Motion to come out of closed session.
I have a motion to come out of closed session by Director Webb, a second by Director Stewart. We're out of closed session, and now we'll assume, all in favor say aye. Aye. Now we'll assume the opening session. And now it's time for public comment. Anyone out there would like to speak to us? Public. Hearing none, we'll move on to voluntary roll call. Anyone out there who wants to hear on the phone?
Hi, Byron. This is John Joyce reporting for the Roseman News.
Good evening, John.
Good evening.
Anyone else? All right, moving on to consent calendar CC1. We received the check and voucher system, voucher registration dates from March 14th through April 3rd, and the deposits from date of March 15th, and payroll dated March 29th. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Director Webb. Second by Director Stewart. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Minutes. Can I have a motion to approve M1, M2, and M3 from Sewer Committee, Finance Committee, and the regular board meeting? Motion, Director Wallace. Second, Director Stewart. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. New business. Number 1, establish Diamond Street property project. General Manager.
Thank you, Mr. President. This requested action is to authorize a mid-year project currently in your budget to start work on the Diamond Street property, and the initial ask is for $6,000, which is above the per the policy. We are required to bring that request to you. So this request is to authorize that amount. We've identified the funds where it could come from, and it will. The initial amount will pay for staff time and also for the testing service, the hazmat testing service by YES Environmental. So the recommendation and the request is to authorize the Diamond Street property project as a mid-year project to be funded through the general fund in the amount of $6,000.
So the goal is to determine how much it's going to cost us to get rid of it, basically.
Correct. So we're going to have to do this regardless.
Yeah.
And so this will give us an indication of
what it's going to cost.
Well, because if it does have hazardous materials in it, then there will be some remediation that will have to be done if it's going to be fixed. There will be some remediation that will have to be done if it's going to be demolished. So we'll have a better handle on the alternatives.
Any questions about that? Getting rid of that building? Okay, can I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the $6,000 strike the hazmat mitigation.
I have a second. So the motion is to approve whatever it takes, not whatever it takes, but within reason, to determine how much it's going to cost to eliminate that building. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. ND2, establish Rosamond Boulevard utility grade adjustment project. I don't understand why we have to pay the cost of putting them up and bringing them down when the county ought to do that. So go ahead.
So we have a franchise agreement. So the county owns the right-of-way. And so our facilities are within the right-of-way by permission of the county. So anytime the county wants to do an improvement in that area, they do a great job of notifying us. But and they, in some cases they can get it funded, but in this case because of the funding source, they're not able to contribute towards utility relocation, and so it's on the district to do that. So, but I have an update on this item. This item's actually been delayed, so it's not going to happen in the time frame that's identified in the staff report. It's actually going to be postponed until spring of 2024. So we can delay on this because what we'll do is we'll schedule it in the upcoming fiscal year budget, and so you don't have to take this action now.
It just seems to me like it would be much cheaper for the county to do the whole project when they're doing it and do everything instead of us having to.
Well, if you think about cheaper for
Total cost.
yes, total cost. I agree to oppose this legislation, and there's 3 different bills, and it's described in the staff report and also in the handout, the outreach alert. And so the ask is for us to join the coalition, and the recommendation is that
I heartily agree with that. If we don't, it won't make any difference probably to us, but they will see us not supporting us. Any questions? I can have a motion for ND3. So moved. Director Stewart. Second. Second. Director Wallace. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. ND4. Water Reclamation Plant Change Order number 7. You got a change order.
we have a change order. And per the policy, change orders for any project, construction project, or to come to the board. So you are seeing change order number 7 in front of you, or in the amount of 189 to 8019 with additional 12 calendar days. I have done an analysis on the kind of the project health, financial health, and I provided some information in the staff report to kind of show what the history is, if you guys have had an opportunity to take a look at it. But and a good comparison to see what your project health should be is the California Multi-Agency CIP benchmarking study is a good kind of back check, and it's I would say 9 agencies throughout the state that track what their delivery costs are, project delivery costs based on a construction cost. And the most recent benchmarking study showed a delivery cost for the range of this project, which is within is approximately $15 million. Well, actually, I would say $13 million, right? It is, the total amount is going to be almost $14 million at this point. The range of the delivery costs on average is 34%. So that's all the costs that aren't associated with construction. Is how much you're at
that.
Well, no. In addition to the almost $14 million.
Yeah.
So the total project cost currently, as it stands, is 31%.
Well, that's right on the
Correct.
right on the top.
And so and I had the finance department put together just every single dollar that's gone into this project, all the way from design, staff time, everything into this project, and the amount that has been spent on non-construction items is about $4.5 million, which ends up being about 32-33%. So you're right there and match up with the benchmarking study. So, it's just good practice to be aware of what you do, to revisit them, especially when you have change orders. And we're going to have one more, by the way. There's going to be at least one more change order. There's some other items that need to be fixed. But anyway, what I'm saying here, or the recommendation, is to approve it, mainly because it falls within the benchmarking study, so it's within the range that is reasonable. The total change orders are about 5%, which you're within a 3 to 7% range for change orders. So it's again within the acceptable, what we consider acceptable range.
This may be kind of an academic question. Maybe John might talk to this one. When we get a contractor for a project, is there any way of finding out that contractor's history on change orders on their percentage? In other words, are there some contractors that are much better at getting nailing down the number than others? Is that when we get a bid? Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I have some input on that. So the change orders are typically dependent upon how thorough the design is. So, and there's no such thing as a perfect set of plans. Just so you're aware, there's no such thing. So, but the change orders, the amount of change orders are dependent upon what might be missing or what maybe wasn't accounted for in the drawings or the plans. Because we are required, we as a public agency under public contract code are required to take the low bid.
Yeah.
We cannot ask for a history of, what we need to do, if we want to protect ourselves. And it's a balance. Because you could pay a lot of money for a more perfect set of plans, or you could, not pay as much for. There's got to be an acceptable range. And so the change order range of 3 to 7% is typical. Is a typical acceptable range.
For a lot of contractors like their money.
Yeah, so and so you really need to have it behooves the district or whoever is managing the project to really be contract savvy. So and know their contract well.
But my question is kind of, are there contractors that have a reputation of less change orders and being more efficient?
You only remember the ones
there are. We still have to pick the low bid.
Correct.
We can't discriminate against contracts.
But to answer your question,
Yeah.
you usually remember the ones that nickel and dime you.
Yeah.
The ones that just do a great job, typically those are the ones you don't remember.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like a student in school that doesn't give you any problems, you don't remember their name. But the student in school who gives you all kinds of problems, that's you frequent. All right. If I didn't come to your house. Yeah, exactly. You did. Any questions? The recommendation from the staff is that we approve this change order, and may I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion, Director Wallace, second. Second. Second, Director Stewart. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. ND5, investment strategies, transferring from Cal Trust Fund and investment with Class Prime Fund.
Mr. President, this item actually was brought. Our finance consultant actually brought this to our attention that we are. He's recommending that we invest in the the California Cooperative Liquid Asset Security System.
For money.
Yes, it is bearing better interest, and it is supervised by a board of trustees, of which there's actually one local person on that board of trustees, George Harris, who's the treasurer, director of finance in the city of Lancaster. He's on that board. So, if the board was concerned, which the finance consultant is not concerned about the viability and the safety or the security of the fund, but if you wanted an extra level of assurance, you have a local person on that board. Yeah. Recommendation is to move $25 million from the Cal Trust Medium Term Fund investment.
Yeah, they did a presentation, didn't they?
Yeah. He hasn't,
Presentation of it.
he hasn't steered us wrong yet, so.
It really sounded good to me.
I think he is giving us a good recommendation here. So the recommendation of the staff is to transfer the money. Now I have a motion.
I guess so.
A motion to go with the new fund.
Director Webb makes the motion, second. Director Wallace seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstain. Conflict of interest. He owns the trust fund. Let it be known that Director Stewart abstained. And he doesn't have to tell us why. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. NB6, resolution amending the discontinuation of the water service policy.
So the existing discontinuation of water service policy was authorized originally as Resolution 2020-3 as a temporary measure to comply with SB 998. The existing discontinuation of water service policy, Section 1.1, needed clarification if the 10% delinquent penalty fee applies to the unpaid current charges or the unpaid outstanding balance. Also, Section 1.1A needed to be amended to allow the district to notify our pending delinquent shut-off customers by mail notice since it's been determined that our robocall system is not compliant with C998. Also, changes to be made to the staff positions identified in 1.3, and they need to be aligned with current staff positions. The members of the Finance Committee met on April 5th, and they recommended that the 10% delinquent penalty fee apply only to the unpaid current charges. All other amendments listed were recommended for approval by the committee. Staff recommends that our Resolution 2023-2 to accept and approve for the changes to the discontinuation of the water service policy as recommended by the Finance Committee.
And she went over that extensively in the Finance Committee, and our recommendation was to move forward with it. It eliminates a lot of probably complaints and headaches that we would face if we tried to be dogmatic about it. Any questions? I have a motion for it. NB7. Move.
NB6.
NB7. Oh, 6. NB6. NB6 consolidation. Resolution amending this discontinuation of the water service policy. Who made the motion? Director Stewart.
I gave her a second.
Second, Director Webb. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? NB6 carried. NB7, arsenic consolidation access agreement. Sign all of them. Get them all.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Mr. President. This is to give us permission. There's several access agreements, both temporary and permanent easements for the pipeline that's going to be installed to connect the 8 different properties for the consolidation, arsenic consolidation project. The request is for the board to authorize us to send out the offers, which monetary value of $200, and it's going to be paid out of the project, and then also authorize if they're accepted to authorize the general manager to also execute the agreement. So each individual one doesn't have to come back.
Right. That's.
And I gave you in your packet you had a sample. I had to redact it obviously because it's dealing with some real estate. So I redacted almost everything, but you saw the form of what we're sending to the prospective people that we're trying to get easements from.
Now, do we have any timeline of when we will ask them to visit? In there, does it say please return by or please sign this by a particular date?
I have not looked at that as far as a date, but I know I've got a stack of them that I need to send out.
Okay. get them out and see what happens. All right. Any questions on the?
I got a question. It might not be quite along with this, but I had someone ask me the other day, they got a water softener and it takes out arsenic. She asked me what kind of arsenic's in the water. Are there more than one kind?
They're probably
That's a good question.
Because they're softeners specified, a certain kind.
Yeah, because it must be an exchange. It's got to be an ion exchange softener.
I'm sorry?
It's got to be an ion exchange softener. Because so arsenic, I'm pretty sure it has it's a single cation. But, so they want to know what kind of arsenic?
Yeah, they thought I'd know because I was on the water
The
board.
bad kind.
Bad guy.
No. I can get more information for you.
And I've never heard this is more than one kind.
I'd have to refresh my chemistry a little bit.
All right,
I
thank
could
you.
get that. No
I've
problem.
never heard if there was a water softener with arsenic.
Neither did I. Typically, how that's done is it's chlorination and filtered green sand, usually.
All right. Did we make a motion on NB7?
No, we did not.
Can I have a motion for NB7?
Make a motion that we approve the agreement.
Motion Director Webb, second? Second Director Stewart. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. NB8, authorize consent to collateral assignment of the solar project.
Thank you, Mr. President. Actually, there isn't a staff report that was able to be published by the agenda time. I can briefly just open it up. I don't have anything for you to approve at this point. I just received the agreement back. We've been going back and forth, but it essentially is will authorize the company that is installing the project to then get financing or turn it over and get financing on it. So that's essentially what it is. It's going to come back on the 26th. So I'm requesting that you table this item.
Okay. So NB8 is tabled at this particular time. Presentation, DR1, Water Reclamation Plant Update.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
We appreciate your patience.
Oh, no problem. So on the construction side update, in the last 2 weeks, District Hydrotech was on site, and they cored 6 holes through the mixing channel and distribution 1 channel. The purpose of this was they were hoping to let more water flow through the channels without being restricted from lower height. In the mixing channel, the water level was close to within 6 inches of the mixing channel surface from overflowing, and by coring these holes would allow more flow restricted. It has dropped the water level about 1.5 to 2 inches in there by coring these holes. They worked on raising manholes, leveling valve cans, things of that nature. Next week, Parkson is scheduled to be on site to make the final changes, hopefully, to the variation programming that will allow the blower that is operational to run in the auto function as the plant was designed to. As well, District Hydrotech will be on site next week, hopefully to deliver the scum pumps and install the scum pumps to the clarifiers so they can start removing the grease and scum from the top of the clarifiers. Also, for the construction, we did receive the damaged blowers, new internal housing, and inverters. We are simply waiting on a scheduled date from Arzen to be on site to install and Boulevard down to Patterson, heading down 10. And the purpose of this is major trunk line runs through there. And the district needs to be able to have access to their sewer manholes for cleaning, observation, and safety purposes, so we work on a road. We also took our normal process and control samples and samples for the state and surveyed as well. The final thing that we were able to accomplish is we started pulling out the aerators from the old evaporation ponds. The old evaporation ponds are now starting to become mostly dry, and the one has about 3 feet of water in it. There's about 5 foot of sludge, so it's time to pull the aerators out of it before they start to become stuck and or damaged.
Right. For making. Are you happy with the progress we're making?
Construction?
No, as far as get everything taken care of, are you happy with the timeline we're looking at?
Yeah.
Is that optimistically, or what? You will have to, because I trust your opinion.
Yeah, I think we really have no other choice.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
I mean, to be honest,
It is what it is. For the time being.
That's correct.
How your bugs doing?
Excellent. Matter of fact, in the next board meeting, I will have a presentation for you, and then shortly after that, hoping construction is done here, hopefully in the next month, if not 2. I'll work with our media staff, and we are going to have a virtual film presentation tour of the facility with us and the operators that will be presented to you guys and that you guys can watch.
You know what? If that's going to be ready, maybe sure we could make it available on our website so the community could get look-see also.
You want to take a look at bugs?
Yeah. If they want to do a presentation, they'll have to
You'll make it absolutely.
maybe we can share that with the community.
I think it's a great idea.
I figured keep them real short, keep their interest 3 to 4 minutes, start from the front to back, sweep through it. Doesn't have to be very technical, it's just a very brief overview of the basics of a wastewater treatment plant. And it'll also show them that you can take a product that would be deemed not viable for anything and turn it into a product that is well worth your time and money, and you'll see a benefit from.
Well, Ryan, this whole house, which I know a lot of people watch, they had a part of the episode about a treatment plant and the whole process. So it is, if they can put it on their show, that means there must be some kind of interest. So I think the community would like to see it because it's an investment in their well-being also.
Thank you.
All right. Director's comments to report on, or any future agenda items that you want to add. Director Wallace?
I have no comments. I'm a quiet person.
Director Stewart?
Just want to extend a thank you to staff. My son was part of Camp Tropico, where he got to go look at the well and a tank up over on Barrington. So we used to live over on Barrington, so now he got to see the tank that we could live on. So get a better understanding of. Explain to me the program. So it's for the kids that didn't get to go to Camp Keith. There was a limited number of kids that got to go to Camp Keith. So the district on one day they got to go. I forgot, John, what well was it?
Put him on the well line, I think, for.
So, you know, he said he enjoyed it, but he goes, maybe tell me what I need to hear. So,
He's a politician,
yeah, already.
All right. That's good. Director Webb. I just want to let the GM and Sherry let you guys know thank you. I know you guys been going through a lot of stuff about the new parts there, John, Ryan, you guys. I think since all the changes, we've opened the doors back up, we all this stuff, I think you guys have been hitting your marks on all of them. So I appreciate the effort from all your staff, from you, GM, the leadership and all this. I think it's working, so I appreciate the effort on everyone's part. I know that credit, not the billing system, but your first big hurdle to clear, and got it cleared, and everything's coming together. So I appreciate the effort on everyone across the board. Thank you.
Honestly, I just try to stay out of the way and let them do their job.
Well, that's It's working. The AVAC allocation is up to 75%, and there may be one more bump before the end comes. Whenever it ends, I have been on this board 18 years, and it's never been 75%. So we have a tremendous water year that we need to be thankful for, and it does create problems for flooding, and it's going to create problems for flooding when the snow starts to melt. I was talking to a fellow who went up to Mammoth to ski, and he said Mammoth has trucking the snow out of the town with trucks because they can't let it melt. It will flood everything. So we've gone from drought, and I guess still part of California is supposedly still in the drought. I don't know what part it is, but anyway, we need to be thankful for the rain and the snow we've had, but that also creates a different kind of a problem. General Counsel update.
Well, you know, they just dedicated that Isabel Dam. Did you see that?
Yeah, and they were getting flooding on the river, on properties.
Oh, yeah,
Really?
big time flooding. How many feet did they raise that dam? About 15, I think.
Well, they had to keep it artificially low because it was not seismically sound.
Right.
All right. General Counsel update.
No update, but I am heartened to hear that somebody else around here watches This Old House.
We just gave up our secret there, Counsel.
Our secret
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. General Manager update.
I will try to keep this brief, Mr. President. The 20th Street property, I did meet with the potential lessee, didn't suit their needs, so still entertaining other potential occupants there. The Roseland High School water connection, that's part of the arsenic consolidation grant. We have another meeting with the state and to go over the grant and the grant progress. So I will ask about whether or not we can get a payment up front to get them connected and work that issue out with the district. I reached out to the superintendent. I haven't heard back from her. So, but I'm taking that to heart and going to ask that question at the next meeting. May 18th is going to be that meeting, so I will ask that question then. Just a reminder that the training session is tentatively moved to April 26th. John, are you still potentially have a conflict there?
Yeah, I have a trial that's supposed to start next week, and depending on when that starts, it may drag into the following week, which would affect the ability to do the training. So I'm still in limbo.
Okay, so we'll schedule it, and if it doesn't happen, then it'll happen potentially happen on the 10th. 10th of May.
We'll be gone, won't we?
What?
10th of May.
We'll be at conference, won't we?
What's that?
Oh, that's right. That's right. 24th. The 24th. It'll be the 24th.
Yeah, that's
24th.
true. That's awesome.
So Monday 24th, John. So check your schedule.
We'll do.
Okay. My next item is the budget process has started. We took an initial budget to the Finance Committee last week, and the budget workshop will be held on the 26th, and the proposed final adoption on May 10th. Well, may not happen May 10th to May. So we got an issue. Just FYI, we have a logistics issue. So potentially 3 of us will be at the Aqua Conference, and on top of that, our finance consultant is getting married on the 20th. Yes. So it may cause an issue for him to push it that far. So we're going to try to figure out how we're going to make this work. He would like to have it happen on the 10th, but if that doesn't work out, we'll need to look at it.
Could we have it like earlier?
Could we schedule
We can schedule potentially a special meeting.
Yeah. On the 3rd or the 17th,
Yeah.
before or after work schedules change, so I'm doing some serious juggling, so that's give you as much advance notice as you can on scheduling.
It's still a Wednesday, it's just,
Well,
a week.
the 17th to Monday, if we're talking about April 7th. No, what? April 17th to Monday, right?
We're talking about May.
May, okay. I still need advance warning.
Absolutely.
I'm juggling a lot of plates now. I'm getting up here, because once I get down the road, I'm at the mercy of the 14.5 to get back up. So as much advance notice I can, sir, if you guys could, appreciate it.
We will do that. I will have to talk to Brad as well, so we will do that. Just a report on some of the things that we're working on as far as staff. We're working on refining our procurement process, including developing standard consultant contracts and front-end construction document contracts, so that you have a kind of standardized form, because that's something that is kind of lacking right now in the process, something that is brought to you for you to approve first, and then we use that template to then engage consultants and contractors. So we are working on that process. And kind of going in hand with that, we have in the current budget a management analyst. And we're working with Ide Bailey, actually, who might be able to provide services for a variety of process monitoring and documentation functions that we really do need as far as our process analysis. And we've actually worked on a scope of work and a proposal from them. That's going to be brought to you on the 26th for you to approve. We'll save some money and we'll get some things done that is sorely needed. I sent a letter to the Southern California Water Bank Authority today, actually, requesting an accounting of the ERA grant and how it relates to any payment adjustment that will benefit the district.
That's the one that we talked about a few weeks ago.
In finance, yes.
Okay, he got a response.
Yes. So I will keep you posted as to how that happens. We're just kind of give you a brief overview. The district paid some money to be part of the water bank and water authority. There was a provision in the contract that says if any grants were obtained, that the district will see some sort of refund towards the investment that the district initially made, and that has not happened yet. And this grant was obtained back in 2009, 2010. So we just want to make sure that whatever money is due the district, that it's looked at properly.
Good.
And finally, I'm supposed to be on jury duty next week, but it's looking more and more that I may need to postpone it. So, but if I do it, I'll be available when I'm not obligated in a courtroom. So that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Any questions? All right. Moving on, Director of Administration.
That would be me. So I mentioned previously that we have been doing customer care calls to reach out to our most delinquent customers. Just wanted to give you some news. We've reduced those numbers by 209. So those are the top ones that are the greater than that 120 days. We've collected over $11,000 in payments. So we're happy with that progress. We're still continuing to do so. I also wanted to let you know that we are working with our communications team. We're putting that message out on our website that, we're going to reinstate the shut-off process and the penalties effective in May. So I think that may have something to do with it as well, with getting some of those numbers down. But we are being consistent with messaging, so we have the messages on our website, on the statements themselves. Social media will soon have some other information out there, and we're planning on doing advertisements for obviously they're getting their bill paid. Please reach out to the staff. So we're doing our best to get that out so people can pay their bill before the penalties resume and shut-offs resume.
That's good. In the past, we would get every once in a while somebody say, "Well, I never knew."
Oh, we'll still get that.
Nobody called me, but I think we're getting less of those.
But I just want you as a board to see, because I know sometimes you're approached in the public, the market or wherever that you're going, I want you to know what we are doing. And I also want to inform you of the timeline that I have set with the staff to begin in May. So the shut-off notification letters will be printed and ready to mail on the 18th. May 22nd, we're going to print and send out the door hangers between the 22nd and 23rd. And then those that have not paid will actually have shut-offs occur on June 6th. Hopefully there's minimal amount. And then May 22nd will be the first posting of a 10% delete.
And can I tell you something about this here? After we discussed it last week, I started going to various utility websites, and across the board they're all doing kind of the same thing, a little bit different language. But when people say, well, you guys are the only one doing this, you can let them know in good faith. No, we're not, because I looked at several large, small, medium-sized utilities, and they're all doing kind of the same thing. Our offices are back open. We're going to start going after our delinquent bills. So when people say, you're the only one doing this to me, no, people, everyone else is doing it everywhere else.
So we're being fully compliant with SB 990.
Yeah.
What's the procedure if they get their water shut off to get it turned back on?
Well, they need
Is there a deposit for that?
to pay their bill in full, and then we reserve the right to increase the deposit. Some accounts never got charged the deposit, so if we see that, we're definitely going to charge a deposit.
What is it, like a $35 credit check or a $200
No, it's a $35 administrative fee that we charge for new setups, and then a $200 deposit standard for someone just establishing service for the first time.
So I do have one question I just thought about this. It's under credit. Once they get this done, we're not reporting nothing about that impacts your credit reports or nothing, are we?
We no longer do a credit check.
I know that, so if they get it taken care of, we're not going to go to a credit
It
agency.
won't go to collection.
Okay, good.
If they've paid, it will not go to collection. That's the key. We just need to get them to pay.
Old accounts don't have to put up a deposit. I don't think I put up a deposit.
There were some that did not. I mean, policies have changed over the years,
Yeah.
right? So, and this is another change. So it's a fluid motion, but we just want to make sure our customers understand it. And again, if you have people that approach you about, what can you guys do to help me pay my bill? I've got a $700 water bill. Payment arrangements are a great way to get that under control. If the amount's over $500, we can amortize it over 12 months. So they have to agree to pay that amount plus their current charges to avoid a shut-off. And they have to agree to pay by the 9th of each month.
Or call you.
Pardon?
Call you.
They call me.
That's all.
Anybody in the staff. But if you want me to speak to them directly,
No, it's because I would rather them call the office here
right.
and get it right than me get a part of it right. And they say what Director Webb said. So,
Sure.
because Director Stewart told me this.
Sure.
Because I don't want to get a mixed message.
Yeah, absolutely. And so please refer them to us.
It's important from here they get the same message no matter who they are talking to.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it's a really great way to get people on track that are serious about getting that bill paid. They want to avoid charges and shut-off.
All right.
All right, I do have...
$11,000 sounds good, though.
Pardon?
$11,000 sounds
Right?
good, though.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
It's really good. Okay, so I'm also going to introduce some correspondence that the district's received. We have received an invitation to a grand opening for Southern Kern Unified School District's Parent and Community Center, which will be Tuesday, April 18th from 4 to 7 p.m. If they would like more information.
They called me and asked me, so I will be there.
Okay, perfect. All right. And we've also received notification from Kern County Public Works of a notice of public hearing regarding a solid waste rate increase. We have that information if you'd like more on that. And the district also received a letter from AVEC notifying us that the state water project allocation has been increased to 75%. That's up from 35%, and the increase is the highest increase since 2019.
2019. Okay.
That's what they say.
Yeah, I remember that being like.
I don't remember being 75.
Damn, does that sound cool?
I'll roll up 35%.
It says this allocation increase is the highest since 2019 and follows the 3 driest years I've ever seen.
Well, maybe that's the most that's been available to us versus, who knows?
Is AVEC water real expensive?
No, I don't know that. I don't know that.
Almost 5 times more expensive than what we pay.
Really? Wow. they don't have arsenic in it, right?
Any questions for
Thank you.
Director of Administration? All right. Director of Public Works.
Yeah, so we're trying something different here as far as notification to the board members on what we've done in the package. So the first stab at 2 weeks progress that we've done. The next one will have some stuff added to it. There's some stuff missing in here, but the public works have done, the normal procedures on sewer cleaning and the water base, but they've also done some landscaping around the district here. Put up the grass and stuff around the flagpole, and we've asked the manager and Jerry, the director, if they had any suggestions for these 2 planters that we have out here, and Jerry came up with an idea of some kind of designated rocks with some designated plants to put in there. So we'll be working on that also to get that installed.
You put in some sod, didn't you?
It's not sod, it's fake grass.
Oh, it's fake grass. I don't mean sod, I mean fake grass.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Regarding the lawn that we have.
Yeah, the demonstration area.
It's of our conservation project, so the demonstration areas. So there's 2 different types of grass. One's Bermuda, and we think the other one's fescue, and then you have more of the zero seed. But each section has a meter on it, and so we can tell our customers that this particular type of lawn doesn't make it look like this this much water, and so on.
If we had a little bit more money in water efficiency account, we could bring it up a little.
So if you get
So, this being has been so I expect within the next couple of
It's gonna start greening up. And that's from A&G sod, that's sod and seed. One side is seed, one side is sod. And, it'll be green in a bit. It'll be green. It was good.
they've been working hard on it, bench it, mowed it, fertilized it, so they've been pouring the water to it. So
It was solid green, but just before the winter started, it was like football field green. Yeah.
I understand the staff receives calls, though, that, we're getting people to reduce their amount of water, and then they get upset because we have lawn. So,
That's why
just in case you hear anything.
I asked the GM
Demonstration.
so we can have a conservation, because maybe we need to start explaining ourselves out on the site about what's going on, because folks keep saying, take it out, and now we have just barren soil. But we could do something like this, and we just got to adapt to the seasons. And, like I said, that'll be green in a bit. That's going to be solid football green now.
Yeah, and so I don't know if we've collected and provided the data as far as the water use, because that would be also a demonstration project for that reason, to demonstrate what you can do with the amount of water that you want to spend, and something we want to encourage, obviously. So I think just tying all this together, and thank you, staff, for putting all this stuff together and to really sprucing it up, because we'll start keeping track of that data and then make it available.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for John?
Hey, John, question for you. I saw this here. You said cost from customers for repairs under mines. Is that for like their lines that come from their house to the street?
that's the service line to the house.
Really? That's good, zero. You would think with all the rain or whatever, we would have had something, but nothing, huh? That's on page number 2, you have calls from customers, zero. Under that, it's your number.
Oh, that would be on the sewer.
Oh, the sewer. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, and the next page is the water report with the monthly, or simple last meeting.
Yeah, but you got zero there too. Main leaks, breaks, zero.
Main lines,
Main lines, yeah.
service lines are
Yeah,
also adequate. So like I said, this has still got some work.
Okay.
I hope to make it better next meeting so it makes more sense to you. But the monthly water report 316 to 412, line leaks, there was 15 of them. There was no mainline breaks.
Good.
There was one new service installed, and then daily work orders. Daily
18 work orders, USA, and meter register change up. The meter register change up is 48, it changed out 48 registers. And then the pictures below is the pipe stations that are working on the water. Yeah, it looks a little wild at the bottom. A little bit. Just a little. Hey, John, the ones that we're having to leak, that's on the other side, the older part of town. So you can look at the addresses, and then it's kind of spread out all over. But Popular, Richland, that is some of the older. Yeah, older part of the community.
The customer now is responsible for their sewer line from the house to the main line, right?
That's correct.
They changed that a few years ago.
Yeah.
The meters that we've changed out over the last few years, what's the history on those? How are they doing?
So with some of those better needs, 48 of them we've changed up in the last 4 years. They're under warranty still, but we're having to change them out. They've had a bad batch of, we probably have 200 or 300 of these in the ground, but 48 of them have failed in the last couple of weeks. So we're having to pull them out, send them back to the manufacturer. They send us a deal, and we have to go back out and install it. So
What happens to them? They don't charge
there's
enough?
electronics inside and something with the battery or something with the mechanism inside is going bad. And
Do they charge less or more or what? To the customer?
it's not an efficiency issue. It's broadcasting
Oh,
the signal.
okay.
Have we changed out all of our meters at this point?
Yes.
There's still, the other numbers, sure. Roughly 50 that we're looking at going to,
That'll be coming to you.
So pretty much we changed them out completely.
oh yeah, for the most part, it's 99% done. There's still a few that we're looking at putting in as a cloud-based read where the office could pick up the readings, get on the internet and look at the reading at any time.
And are we going to stay with this meter for a while? Is there anything new coming out?
Well, I think at this point we're kind of stuck with it because of the warranty issues. But I'm sure we'll definitely be looking in the future to see if there's anything. They all have problems. Yeah. I just don't know if they're having the problems that we're having for the magnitude.
The Water Smart Conference, there's always guys there talking about the new meters that are coming out that are so much better. You know, I guess that happens on a regular basis, just like phones.
It's every year, yeah.
Big expense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big expense.
All right. Any other questions for Public Works Director?